Ah, bonjour, comment ça va? C'est bon. I really getting to like my COVID mustache. It's been 2 years, cut it, growing it, haven't cut it. So when this COVID is over, maybe my mustache will be over. We will see about that. I'm printing some things, so sorry for the noise. We have a teachers meeting at 10 o'clock, and I got a half hour to do this. So, do you like this coffee? I do. And a lot of people say, like, oh, wait a minute, you're a chef. How could you drink that coffee? Very easily. I drink it with my mouth. I don't know if I really call it coffee, but it tastes like hot ice cream. It tastes like melted ice cream. It really does. And it's fine. A little sugar just wake me up a bit, get me going. So this is the French too, and this is the class plan, which will be uploaded, hopefully. There we go. As I said in the early one, I didn't put any numbers or dates on it because this class now we are going, this is going to be the 13th. 20th is Chuseok, and I think we're going to meet the 27th. So in the 27th, we're going to make, I might go right into the galantine. I think we will. I think we'll go right into the chicken galantine. We can make that. Pate is actually a very simple thing to make. And as I told you earlier, like with pate is, a lot of you guys are like, oh, I don't know what pate is, or I never had pate. Spam. Spam is pate. Chuseok, the 22nd, yeah. You're gonna eat some, grandma has some pate. It's pureed, pureed. Well, I wouldn't say pureed. Pureed is actually not the word we do. It's finely ground. We talked about the term charcuterie. And a lot of the videos that follow are going to be terms, besides the cooking video, there's going to be a lot of classroom material that I want you guys to copy down. And if you've been in my class before, you know I talk about notebooks, and notebooks are very, very important. So you're going to have to keep a good notebook. Why? And I do this all the time. You guys are familiar with this, obviously CDs. But, my school computer has a CD-ROM in it. My home does too. But, my laptop doesn't. My new desktop doesn't have it. These are not being used anymore. All right. And you all remember these. Right. Really? Can't use this now. Do I have one of these? I don't have a reader for one of these, do I? No, I don't. No, I don't. I can't read any of these files. Not at home and not here. You guys call these flop disk, which I'm sure you've seen them. I mean, they're not so. This is the save button now. When people see this, they go, look at it. Oh yeah, this is where the save button. Look at the save button on your computer, and it's shaped like this. It's actually shaped like that, and that's what it is. It's it's for saving. All right, 140 megabytes. Megabytes. 140. Oh, I'm sorry. 1.4 megabytes. Really nothing. Really, really small. These technologies aren't used anymore. They're really not. Now, when I first started teaching, this was the thing to have. This was the cutting edge technology. Everybody wanted to have one of these. An Apple IIe and the original flop disk. If you're in my cooking class, I've showed you this already before. But this original flop disk. Right. This is the Apple IIe. This, I be honest with you, it doesn't have the size on it. It doesn't have the size on it. I don't really remember. I should look it up. But honestly, 3 or 4 pages like this. That's about it. India. Not a lot. can't use this either. And this is my school, my menu plan, lesson plans teaching. I can't really use this, and that's a shame. I'd like to really find out. I'd love to see what this looks like now. I got quite a few. You had to. I gave out a few too. Menu planning, you know, and a lot of stuff doesn't change. The chicken stock doesn't change. It doesn't change at all. So, when I'm doing you guys' class plans, I always use this. And this is my notebook from school. As you can see, it's the keyboard. It's the old style typewriter. So when I was in class, I would write down notes, and then after class, go home, chink, 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 because I still type that way. I'm not a fast typer, and never have been, and probably never will be a fast typer. But I could still use these notes. And as a matter of fact, the chicken stock recipe, the beef stock recipes, all these recipes that we use in class, even the galantine is from here. That's my CIA notes. Some things just don't change in classical cooking, that's for sure. I mean, we do even in Italian. Italian itself, there's not a lot of changes. Because we're doing classical cooking, there are obviously fusions. But we're not going to discuss that. You gotta excuse me, I got a little ticklish here. Let me see. So I'm gonna put up the pate. I'm sorry, the galantine. Yeah. So when we get into class, we can, and you could watch it several times. Now there's other things like this chicken stock attached. Well, we cook the galantine in chicken stock, so obviously we're gonna do that. Plus we're gonna take the meat off the bones. It's a pretty. It sounds like pate really easy. You take meat, you marinate and season meat, you grind meat. You pack it, you cook it, you chill it, you serve it. It's basically pate is a spreadable or sliceable paste. Usually it's made with a lot of liver. And in class I cut down the liver. You guys don't seem to like it that much. So we go for more of a pork meat and, well, it has like a sundae taste. I like the pates actually. The pate is, all pates I kind of like. I like sausages too. The galantine itself, you can do it poultry. No, this is a word too. Once again, we're going to use a lot of new vocabulary in this word. Poultry, do you know the word poultry? Chicken, duck, geese, pheasant, guang, padugi, pigeon, meturi, that's quail. Which is interesting in Korea because you can buy quail eggs, meturial. You can buy them everywhere. Everywhere you go, you can find meturial. It's amazing. But what you don't see? Meturigogi. At one place I worked, we used to serve as an appetizer. And oh man, did I hate that because we had to cut out all the bones except for the wing and the leg bones, but take out the breast bones and all that. We used to save the bones. Actually, we used to make stock. We used to throw it in the chicken stock. We never made straight meturi. I wonder if we can get quail is the English name, meturi. I know I kind of say it kind of funny. I wonder if we can get that. Very classical French. Same with rabbit, toki, very rabbit, very classical French. And two places I worked, in two different places. One we had quail, meturi, and the other one had toki, rabbit. Rabbit, not a lot of meat on rabbit. We used to just use what we call the tenderloin or the loins. That was it, not the legs or anything else. And we used to use it for stocks, but we didn't say rabbit soup because people were like, what? But it has a nice gamey taste. I liked it. We used to serve a lot of game. See, this is another new word. Like poultry means almost anything with feathers, even ostrich, right? Game. Alligator, ahu. Frogs are considered, I don't know what they are. One place I worked with, we served frog legs, and escargot. They're not really game, they're considered game. But like metdeji, black pigs probably could be considered game, metdeji. Sassum, deer game, and that's very popular too. Um, what else? Well, I guess before I said like pheasant, ostrich, anything that's really kind of wild is called game. And we used to make a game stock, and that's where we used to put like the metrial in there, or the rabbit bones, or things like that. And usually heavy in roasted pork bones, and you mix it together. Very nice stock. Me, stocks, I could make stocks all day long. There are so many ways of making stocks. It's so flavorful, especially if you work at a good place that has a lot of bones. You know, whether you roast, even like roasted chicken stock, which is not classical, but it is delicious. It really is very, very delicious. And if you make it a sauce for chicken, I prefer roasting the bones. Once again, not classical, and in class we try to stay with the classical items. But roasted chicken bones, it makes such a wonderful stock. I think you guys would like that. I'm going to look into Metro to see if we can get that. Now, to make a galantine out of Metro, I guess we could try it. We tried it, you know, the black chicken, oroge, the black chicken. We one year I ordered a couple of them and tried to make a galantine out of it, and the skin itself is very, very thin on them. Because what we're going to do is take the chicken and carefully take off the skin. That's why you need a small knife. I thought your paring knife. I don't have one around here right now. Told you once, told you twice. You need that. Because what we're going to do with the chicken, you cut the back, you'll see, and we're going to slowly take off all the skin, take off the meat off the bones, season it, grind it, roll it back up, basically, and poach it in the chicken stock. Pretty easy. I mean, stepwise it is. It takes a long time. That it does. Even cooking it does. We're going to do shallow poaching, and we're going to poach it in the chicken stock. So when it's cooking, as it cooks, flavor comes out of anything. You know, when you cook, you always get the kumul, the flavor coming out of it. But then you cool it in the stock, and it soaks it back in. So a good stock for making a good galantine is extremely important. That's why I always talk about this. I wish I could get this to lean down a bit. Really, really important is a good stock is such a key ingredient. And in this case, the stock we're not really using for anything else but poaching the galantines in. You could use the stock after, but once again, we use things like nutmeg and clove in the mix because those are kind of classical flavors, and that makes that stock taste a little off. If you're going to use it for a soup or something like that, I wouldn't recommend it. Plus, it's a little old at that way because we cook it and we chill it in the stock, and you'll see it comes out like jelly, the stock itself. And what else? What else we got on here? We got a lot of messages. Things that are starting to warm up at school here. Chicken roulade, pate. These things usually take they take usually about 2 or 3 classes. So it's a short list, a lot of work. If we have extra time, I think I've already covered this already. When we have extra time, we do extra things. I don't know when this is going to be over, when this COVID's going to be over. I don't want to order too much food because obviously would be a waste. So I don't want to do that. That's about it. Notebooks. Watch the following videos. This is just the introduction. The Galantine's on there, plus note taking. This is, once again, we talked about final tests. This class is not really for practical cooking final. It's really not, because I can't expect you guys to making the Galantines. Well, we're going to do maybe 2 students will do one, or maybe one by one. I'd like to do it one by one, which we can. I see no problem with that. It depends on your skill level. It's pretty good knife skills, that's for sure. And you'll find it extremely interesting. Well, you watch the video, you'll see it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bang, one shot. I got to get ready for the meeting. The 10 o'clock meeting is getting close. Au revoir, mon ami.